Today we have with us a guest, Moshe Bar-Ziv, and I welcome you in the name of the Lord. Moshe is from Israel. It's always great to have friends with us from Israel. Moshe from 2004 to 2007, right?
Yes,
it was the president and CEO of the Jerusalem Post. Now, if you have never checked out a website, get on jpost.com. It gives you the up-to-date information about what's happening in Israel. You read the headlines of the Jerusalem Post and you go, oh, that's what my Bible says. And so it's an amazing, amazing publication. And while you were president and CEO, you came to an amazing discovery about who were the clients of Jerusalem Post.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
I'm so proud and honored, and thank you very much. It was around 2004 that I've discovered, in the first months of working there, that at least 30% of the readership base and more than that of the internet users base in the jpost.com were Christians, lovers, and Christian supporters of Israel. For me, it was a stunning finding, but I decided to do something with that. And a year and a half later, end of 2005, beginning of 2006, the Jerusalem Post was proud enough to launch the Jerusalem Post Christian edition with a separate editor, with a separate content that will serve the Christian supporters of Israel. And in fact, I'm holding the first ever magazine that was published first time ever around January 2006.
Now, let's just take a moment right here. This magazine, I actually am a subscriber to this magazine. I thank you for the vision that was birthed in you. It's an amazing magazine. It talks about new discoveries in the land archaeologically. It talks about new modern technology breakthroughs that are happening in the land of Israel, just like God said, new medical breakthroughs. It's just phenomenal. And it also then really talks to the heart of Christians about Israel. It's not afraid to talk about our Christian roots in the land of Israel. It's an amazing publication. I want to encourage you, before we go on, that's something you want to think about doing. If you get on jpost.com, you can click on the Christian edition, the magazine, and just take a look at it. It might be something that you want to subscribe to. I subscribe to it. I'm going to tell you something. It really enhances my Bible reading. So I would encourage you to do that. Okay, so this was your first launch into this new community that you had just discovered. And then what happened after that?
Well, I think that what happened after that was a God thing, because within a very short period of time, about 30,000 subscribers have joined the plan. And I felt that God have planted this seed deep in my heart in order to create a bigger bridge between Jews all over the world and Christian supporters all over the world. So what happens eventually is that in 2007, I decided to step down from the Jerusalem Post, to stop being the president and the CEO. I have left my legacy there through the magazine, and I established Footsteps, which was, I think, a God thing to strengthening the bridge that I was starting to build through the magazine.
Whose Footsteps?
Footsteps. Footsteps is a company I established late 2007. You can see many things of Footsteps through jesusfootsteps.com, but I can tell you shortly that Footsteps, I think, is a modern version of the bridge that I was starting to build years ago. Footsteps is a way of teaching, educating, participating the 100 footsteps of Jesus in the Holy Land. And you have mentioned before that Christians, lovers of Israel, should prepare yourself for the big travel to the Holy Land. And I think that the best way to prepare yourself is getting to footsteps.com and understanding the phenomena of the 100 footsteps of Jesus.
Okay, let's talk about this. There's a website. Could we put that website up? It's www.jesusfootsteps.com. Now, when you click on that, up comes a map of the state of Israel, and to the left is a listing of places that talk about where Jesus was in the land. Now, there's 25 there now, but you are saying that that is going to grow from 25 to
100.
To 100. So when you click on each one of them, an amazing thing happens. It opens up and you see a picture that's either familiar to you because you've been there and you go, wow, I've been there. And then there's a description of it with scriptures about Jesus linking to that.
Yes.
Okay, but there's another piece on some of the sites. And not all of them have this yet, but you have this incredible, incredible vision, and part of it is already there. And what can you also do there?
Well, first of all, you can learn and become educated about what was happening. I mean, what was the real story of Jesus in the Holy Land? Most of us really know about the topics, you know. We know about his birth, we know about the cross, we had been going through Via Dolorosa and we have seen the stations and the despair, but we do not understand the daily life of Jesus. We would like, or I would like, and that's my vision, to get the understanding what was the daily life of Jesus in the Holy Land, how he was treated, how he was preaching, what really happened at the Sermon of the Mount.
Okay.
Who was waiting there?
Let's talk about the Sermon of the Mount, because you, with Daystar, have done an amazing thing there that actually people can participate in. Let's talk about that.
Well, it was, I would say it was invented about a year and a half ago. And Daystar, my very dear friend, Marcus and Johnny Lamb, we leased the land at the Mount of Beatitudes. It's about 25 acres land, and we are planting olive trees. And the idea of planting olive trees is both very important from biblical and practical issues in Israel. I would start with the practical thing. You know that Israel has been suffering with a huge drought for the last 7 years, and farmers practically went out of business.
Yes.
Because of shortage of water, they had to sell their lands, unfortunately, and usually to real estate sharks, mostly Arabs, that have bought the land and now would go and build on it. But not necessarily now, because now that we have acquired the land, we are going to bring back the farmers to their lands. And on this piece of land at the Mountain of Beatitudes, we are, in this time, we are planting olive trees.
Now, by we, you're in partnership with Daystar, with
Yes.
Marcus and Joni, but the we of Daystar is Daystar viewers. And here is the olive grove. And what you can do, this is phenomenal. This is so wonderful. You can get on Daystar's website, and there is an icon that you can click on called the Israel Olive Tree Bond. And you can click on that, and you personally can plant an olive tree in Israel right by the Mount of Beatitudes. Now, when you do that, they have this amazing thing for you. Not only will you plant a tree, but they will send you some olive oil from the grove, from the older grove that's already there. They will send you a beautiful certificate. And unlike any other, and I've seen lots of tree plantings in Israel, and I've planted lots of trees in Israel, but the unique thing about what Daystar is doing, I think this is just wonderful. You get a plaque by your tree. I've taken hundreds of people to Israel. They've planted trees, and the next year they'll always say to me, "Did you check my tree? Is it still growing okay?" I don't know where their tree is, but Daystar will mark your tree. This is great. So with your name and the city that you come from. This is amazing. So I would encourage every one of you right now, go to Daystar's website, click on that, and participate in this amazing biblical effort to restore the olive groves to the Mount of Beatitudes areas, be a blessing to the land of Israel, and be a blessing to Daystar. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff.
Cheryl, I can tell you that back last November, mid-November, Marcus and Johnny have brought a couple of hundreds of Daystar viewers. Most of them were first-timers, but the nice thing about it that most of them have really planted a tree
Yes.
during 2009. And you should have seen the excitement. It was so powerful when we, together with the viewers, went to see the trees. And you could have seen couples or individuals are going to their selected trees, praying at the tree, and most of them have planted more trees on behalf of their children, etc. It was very powerful. I think it was shown many times at Daystar as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you, all those people that planted those trees at Daystar, you need to go back in 3 years because those trees will be producing olives, and you need to be there and see that. This is amazing. All right, this is just one of the kinds of things that you're doing on this website. Now, at the Jordan River, that's another place that is on your website. Not everybody, but most Christians that go to Israel want to be baptized at the Jordan River.
Yes.
So you talk about Jesus' baptism in the Jordan River on this website concerning the Jordan River, but then something else is going to be available on this website for them to be able to buy and connect to the Jordan. And what's that going to be?
I think that if you're looking at all of the products or the projects, I think that I'm bringing the feel, the look and the taste of the Holy Land towards the homes of the viewers. That's the idea. And maybe I'm sending a memo or an introduction for years to come to visit either the planting trees or the other products. If you go to the Jordan River and you click on it, of course you would find a biblical story. You would find the baptized story. You would find the quotes from the Old and New Testament. But if you click on the product section, you would be able to get yourself a cosmetic line that is coming from the Jordan River.
Right.
And it's very nice because it has some practical background because it's a nice product, but also it has some theology background because we are using only minerals which are coming from the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River, and we mix it together with purified water that had been collected in the actual baptized place. Mm. And that makes it even more, I would say, spiritual.
Right. So what your vision is and what your goal is that every one of these sites you'll click on, you'll get some biblical information, but there'll also be another thing. You're going to make available some other products and things that absolutely relate to that site.
Yes.
For example, we talked about that the Cana site, you would have grape juice or wine, depending on how people take communion, to be able to have communion from that site. You talked about the site of the feeding of the 5,000, that your vision is to be able to get flour and water and the herbs and the actual recipe of what it meant when Jesus took those loaves and fishes and what happened. So you're not looking at just a regular education site. You're looking at an education site that's really taking another step, giving people an opportunity to feel and experience really the footsteps of Jesus.
Yes.
And that was in the land that he loved, his own.
Yes, and my vision, first of all, would be to plant the love for Jesus in the hearts of the people through this story. Because this is a story that is being told, I would say, differently. I would say that this is an interactive story. I think that this site, along with my other activities which are outside of the internet, such as your kind invitation today, but I think that this kind of activities would be able to strengthen the love for Jesus of what he was doing for all of us. And the fact is that my vision, today the site, I would say, is 10% ready. But my vision would be to plant the love for Jesus through this interactive. And not only to learn about the 100 footsteps, because most of us know maybe 5, maybe 10 very important stations in Jesus' lives. But we don't know enough, and it would be a good opportunity to learn more and to learn it in a fun way, so to speak. So it's not only learning about the miracle with the 5,000. You would be able to click, you would be able to call and to get to your private address the ingredients and the flour and the salt coming from the Galilee, and you will be able to break a bread that was cooked, was baked by Israeli ingredients at your home, wherever it is.
Let's look at another site, the Mount of Olives. Unbelievable. This site, I mean, every site in Israel is my favorite. My husband laughs at me all the time because I will say every trip was the best, every site was the best. And so this is the Mount of Olives. And it's interesting because what maybe our viewers don't know, there's lots of olives. There's lots of olive trees in Israel. Olive trees are hugely important. But the Mount of Olives is a place that Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. And so while we're talking about that, I want you to know we have a prayer line open. Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, but we have people here that will pray with you. And so if you would call 303-423-2400, we have prayer partners that want to pray with you. And so the same thing on the Mount of Olives. You have information about what took place there. One of the things about the Mount of Olives, though, that is such a great experience for people is we call it the Palm Sunday Walk. It's not exactly the Palm Sunday Walk, but it works really well. You walk from the top of the Mount of Olives and you walk down to the Garden of Gethsemane. But once again, you will have another interactive kind of thing, another product. And so the whole goal is to have 100. 100
within the next couple of years. I'm sure, because I know exactly that God was sending me to this mission. And until I will be having the 100, I would not rest.
Good. I'm going to encourage you. This is a growing website. I'm going to encourage you to every couple weeks check it out. There's going to be something new on there for you to look at. And I also want to say something else to you. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 12, verse 3, he said, I'll bless those who bless you, meaning Israel, and I'll curse those who curse you. And Daystar Television is unashamedly blessing Israel and standing with Israel. Moshe just told us about Marcus and Joni bringing 200 people to the land of Israel. I mean, what an incredible thing. Planting these olive trees, making a partnership with Footsteps of Jesus. I would encourage you, plant an olive tree in Israel, but I also would encourage you that a way to bless Israel is click on how to donate to Daystar. They are broadcasting things from Israel. They are standing with Israel. When you bless Daystar, you're blessing Israel, and that's a good thing. So I want to encourage you to do that. Okay, what are some final words you have for us?
My final words are simply coming from the heart. You know, it's written in the Bible that whomever blessed them will be blessed, and whomever cursed them will be cursed. But I want to take another approach, that as much as Christian supporters of Israel love the state of Israel, most of the Israelis love and adore the Christian supporters of Israel. And I came all the way from Jerusalem to tell you that Israelis are lovers of Christian and Christianity. And that's, I think, the real bridge that I can build between Jews all over the world and Christians all over the world, for better humanity and humanization that we are in a lack of today.
Right.
But that's my message to all of you.
That's important for all of you to understand. What Moshe said is so important. The love goes back and forth. It's not just our unconditional love towards them, but Jews are standing with us also. And that's going to make a difference in these last days. We'll be back with you in just a moment after this message.